Hi guys, it's Michelle and today's video is going to be another true crime case. This true crime case is actually very scary. It is all about the killer Santa. It's definitely one of the more interesting and just really sad cases that I have ever heard of. Before we get into it, I want to thank you all for coming and joining in for this little vlogmas moment that I have going on for now till Christmas. So if you missed any of the other videos, definitely go check them out and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the ones coming up this next week. Without further ado, let's get into it. On December 24th, 2008, in a city called Covina, California, it's in the suburbs of Los Angeles, a man named Bruce Jeffrey Pardo dressed up as Santa Claus, and at around 11:30 p.m. he headed to his old in-laws house who were having a Christmas party. However, he did not pull up to this Christmas party with anything but bad vibes and bad intention. He brought a gift-wrapped homemade flamethrower and two semi-automatic handguns. Moments after the door opened, his 8-year-old niece was running towards him and he literally just shot her in the face. Luckily she was okay, but she had facial injuries from obviously the gunshot wound. And then he just began shooting people at this party. So this party, like I said, was at his ex-wife's parents' house, and these were all his ex-family members, and he just shot several people in the home and then lit the entire house on fire using the flamethrower. He took the lives of 9 people in this house, including his ex-wife Sylvia, his mother-in-law, his father-in-law, 3 of his sister-in-laws, 2 of his brother-in-laws, and 1 of his nephews. 3 other people at the party were seriously wounded, either from the fire, the gunshot wounds, or one of them even actually jumped from the second story of this house in order to get to safety, but they were okay. They ended up only spraining their ankle, but it's just a horrible thing to imagine. Imagine opening the door to that, you just see a guy dressed up as Santa. Maybe they didn't even recognize him at first. It's just absolutely terrifying. So after this attack, Bruce Pardo actually fled the scene, unsurprisingly, put back on his regular clothes and drove in his rental Dodge Caliber to his brother's house in Sylmar. This was about 30 miles away from the crime scene, but his brother was not home at the time when he got there. Bruce Pardo was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at his brother's home. Like I said, his brother was not home at the time and probably didn't even know he was there. It was actually initially believed that Pardo wanted to flee to Canada because he had bought an Air Canada plane ticket. However, when they looked at the flight's itinerary, it was actually a flight from Los Angeles to Lodline, Illinois. Sorry if I say that wrong. With a layover in Minnesota. Now this was pretty random only because why Air Canada? I don't know. It just is really weird. I didn't even know Air Canada had flights within the United States. If you weren't planning on going to Canada. It's the worst airline on the planet. There goes any sponsorships I had with Air Canada. Why would they? I'm an American, why would they sponsor me? So basically Pardo actually called one of his high school friends a couple days before Christmas Eve and he told him that he was gonna come and visit. Investigators weren't quite sure if he was literally planning on going to visit or if, he just wanted to kind of throw investigators off of his path, because people do believe that he had no intention of committing suicide on the night that he died. But let's talk about why he did. So Bruce Pardo ended up having extremely bad 3rd-degree burns from the fire that he set. It is a possibility that he probably didn't, think about the fact that he could get burned in this fire, which I don't know. So maybe these burns were unexpected. He obviously couldn't go to the hospital to get the burns treated, so maybe he was just in so much pain that he committed suicide. I think that that's probably where investigators are leaning towards, especially because of the way that he left his car. The police also found $17,000 in cash on him, so that's obviously a pretty good chunk of change for, running away money. The one thing that makes me think that he definitely had the plan of fleeing wherever he was gonna go to, his car that he rented was parked about a block away from his brother's house. This car had been rigged with the remnants of the Santa costume, but they were completely covered in black powder, which is a type of gunpowder that basically explodes. I don't know, it's a chemical explosive, so if they were to have touched the gunpowder, that it would have basically detonated the car. So it was literally set up by this serial killer. Clearly knows stuff about bombs and guns and stuff, and he set this up so that when the police found his car, that if they were to go into the car and grab the Santa costume, they would have been detonated. Like literally the car would have exploded. I didn't even know there was a gunpowder that does that, and now honestly I'm kind of afraid of that. So I also discovered that Bruce Pardo's house was basically having virtual bomb factory vibes. I didn't say vibe. They said it was basically a virtual bomb factory, which is very concerning and just so scary to think, like, what if he had gotten away? Like, what if he didn't commit suicide? What if he didn't get those burns? And what would he have done? Like, he could have that's, people are too into bombs. It makes me very nervous. But that's something that honestly really freaks me out, because like anybody can just kind of learn. Don't do that. Don't learn how to do that. Don't. So the police wanted to figure out what Bruce Pardo's motives were for these horrible, horrific crimes he was planning to do to cover it up. Because not only did he consciously go in and kill those people that were his literal family, he set it up so that he would have killed probably investigators who were going to, you know, look in the car. But luckily, like, they figured it out before, which I don't even know how you figure that out, that there's black powder. I mean, maybe you could see it, but like, what if somebody had just like broken into that car and like, that's so scary, actually. Investigators wanted to figure out why he would have done this. Of course, Sylvia Pardo was his ex-wife, but it was actually relatively recent. The two were only married for a year. They had finalized their divorce a week prior to Christmas Eve. So it's pretty likely that that was the intention of killing her family, which is sad and messed up and also really scary. Like, honestly, scary. Men really do freak me out sometimes, and I'm not saying women can't be scary either. I've done several videos on women serial killers too. But it's just scary because like this guy has no record of being any type of violent person you're married to, and I don't even know if they were like actually even afraid of him, like, which is even scarier. Like, imagine like somebody that you trust and you went through a divorce and stuff, but like what if things didn't even end bad? It is definitely something really, really freaky to think about. It's horrible. I'm so sad for her family, the ones who passed away and the ones who even just experienced that, especially on a holiday. I said this in like my Halloween video about how it must be really hard to deal with a family death at any point, but like on a holiday specifically, because it's just like everyone's celebrating around this time of year. It's obviously the anniversary of something very, very terrible for this family, and that's just really, really upsetting. Also important to note that Bruce Pardo was actually an electrical engineer, ITT Electronic Systems, and he got fired in July of 2008, and like I said, this happened on Christmas Eve of 2008. Don't know the grounds on why he was fired, but it is interesting to think about the fact that he was an electrical engineer, because maybe that's how he got so into learning about bombs. It's just so trippy to me that he had this well thought out plan. Like, he literally had a plan for the car that he was renting to detonate. Like, it was clear that he did that for a reason. Like, he wanted to get the investigators off of his path, and that's honestly just so scary to think, like, what could have happened? I think it has to be the 3rd-degree burns were too painful, because like, I just don't know what else could have happened to him that he would have had this so thoroughly thought out plan that he just decided to commit suicide instead of continuing to have this plan of escape. What do you guys think about this true crime case? It's obviously really horrible, and I'm thinking of the family during this time. But nonetheless, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Like I said, let me know what you guys think about this true crime case, and if you have any other true crime cases that occurred on Christmas, let me know. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, because I'm always posting really dope ass shit on there. Subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys tomorrow because Vlogmas. Bye!